Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Orchin, and today I'm going to teach you how to floss your teeth. I'm going to use my little friend Mr. Chompers here to teach you how to use a device that I love. This has been a game changer for my family with my two boys and flossing their teeth. It just bridges the gap between some of the challenges that kids face with not having the same amount of dexterity or hand skills as an adult would. I love, love, love this little tool. It has really easy removable little heads that just kind of snap on and off just like that. So you can change them as you need to, depending on their context or how hard they push on this. It's going to last longer or shorter. These also come in a mint flavor, which my kids love. Whatever it takes to get them to floss is a win. This is what it looks like. It's called Reach Ultra Clean. I purchased this on Amazon, but certainly I've seen them in drugstores, grocery stores, a number of different places. So it's a pretty common, easily accessible device, and it's not very costly to use. And the idea is for kids, oftentimes sort of wrapping floss around their fingers can be a little bit challenging. Then they get frustrated, then they don't want to do it. That's one of the reasons why I love this, because I had that struggle in my household as well. So that is what it looks like. It's called Reach Ultra Clean, and then these are the replacement heads that you can purchase for them as well. What I love about this is it's got a nice long handle, so they don't have to try to get their hands all the way to the back of their mouths. It's just sort of easier for them to grip. It's got nice little traction on here. This also is really, really helpful for elderly people or patients that might struggle with arthritis or difficulty sort of gripping things. This has been easier for them than wrapping floss around arthritic fingers. And then the other thing I love about it is that if your child is struggling, if they have a tight contact and they're struggling to really get the floss down between their teeth, this is a nice little surface that they can bite on. So really all you have to do with it is, we'll just start in the back of little Chomper's mouth here, but all you really have to do with it is just sort of get it positioned over, maybe I'll show you this spot, get it sort of positioned over two teeth, sort of lined up with a little space in between. And that sort of came down too easily. But if this was your child's mouth and it was a tight contact, all they need to do is just sort of bite down on it and it'll click it right in between their teeth. And then the idea being with floss, a lot of people that I watch floss their teeth, they just go down like this. So they're just like going through and clicking it straight up and down. And that's not really cleaning the area that's the actual problem. Bacteria, which is what plaque is, it likes to hide out in any little nook and cranny in your mouth. And one of the biggest nooks and crannies we have is hidden in these little sort of indentations in between our teeth. And so the idea with floss is you're able to get it not just clicking it in between teeth, but that the floss should actually sort of wrap around the side of that tooth and sort of scrub it up and down. It's no different than a toothbrush would on a tooth surface. You're getting the floss in between the teeth, and you really want to push it against the side of it and go up and down to sort of wipe that area clean. So here's what it looks like. You basically seat the floss in between the teeth, and then I'm pushing, like to clean the side of this tooth, I'm actually pushing the handle of this sort of back towards the throat, so that it hugs the side of that tooth, and then I'm kind of scraping it up and down, up and down, up and down like this, and then I'm going to pull it towards the front of the mouth, and the same idea, I'm just sort of going up and down the side of that tooth, sort of wiping it clean and then pulling it out. For my kids, I think anything that makes it fun or memorable is a win. And so in our household, I came up with a little click, jiggle, jiggle, click, click, jiggle, jiggle tune to sing while we're flossing teeth. So this is what it looks like. We basically push it down between the tooth, and that's the click. And then the jiggle, jiggle is just sort of scraping it up and down on the sides of the teeth. So it's click, jiggle, jiggle, and then the click. And then click on the next tooth, jiggle, jiggle, click. So it's click, jiggle, jiggle, click, click, jiggle, jiggle, click. And we do that as we're flossing their teeth. Weird, yes, but it gets them interested in flossing their teeth, and it sort of helps them remember, like, we're not just clicking and pulling it out. You got to push it down, and then you've got to sort of wipe up and down on those adjacent teeth, because you're really trying to clean out the sides of those teeth. I love this little tool. I think it's a game changer. It's not like I keep talking about kids, but adults can certainly use this as well. Whatever gets you to become a flosser, if you're not, is a huge win. The other thing we should talk about is how often to floss. And it's really important to floss at least once a day. For sure, if I had to choose when is the most ideal time to floss, I would definitely choose flossing before bedtime, because our saliva rates drop when we're sleeping. So really going to bed with a nice clean mouth is the number one most important time to do a really, 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 really super good job of brushing and flossing your teeth. Then comes the question, do you floss first or do you brush first? In an ideal world, you're flossing first to sort of loosen up the debris between the teeth, and then you're brushing afterwards and sort of wiping it clean from there. Honestly, though, if you're just getting you to floss is amazing. If you're flossing, you're doing great. Ideally, you floss before you brush, but don't get too worked up over that. Or if your kids floss and then brush, or brush and then floss, you're doing great if you just get your kids to floss. So I love this little tool. Certainly regular floss does an awesome job too, but I've just found for younger people or elderly people that have issues with hand dexterity, this tool can just be an awesome little gadget. It's cheap, it's easy to use, and it has a little mint flavored one too that my kids love. So those are the little tips I would give you for flossing your teeth. Again, don't forget the back part of the last tooth too. This little fella here is fortunate enough to have even his wisdom teeth in, which is extremely odd, but the last tooth in your mouth doesn't have an area to click in between, and a lot of people forget to floss behind that very last tooth where there is no tooth behind it, but it's super important. This little guy, well, I'll do the top. So again, sort of coming up behind that last tooth, and you're just kind of like trying to hug or wrap around that back tooth and wiping it clean. We see a lot of buildup there too that needs to be washed away with a little piece of floss. So those are my tips for flossing for you. There's all sorts of gadgets that work with braces and different little tools and tricks too. I just wanted to go over this for people that don't have braces on their teeth, and for some of the younger patients out there, adults and elderly people. I hope you found this helpful. Take care.